this weekend? Selling it? Where'd you come to?
Over by Murfreesboro, we bought a 2.6 farmhouse.
Is that still in District Town?
Well, let's see. I don't have anybody joining in. Why do you not have anybody joining in?
8:30, let's start. Okay, call the meeting to order. We have a motion to acknowledge minutes. Let's see, we've got,
I want to make sure I've got the right meeting launched here for
Okay.
ladies, please. Yes, I do have the correct one launched, so everybody should
we've
be
got
able
two
to get in.
meetings, 7th and 8th. So we have a motion. I'll second it. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Scott's not here. Cost for nuisance property. Okay, and that is right here in front of us. Wow, there's a lot of these here. Is this the bottom one?
That's all the bills for that, and let me get the bill rack here. It's the bottom sheet.
Thank you, Abby.
Sorry.
Jeez, no wonder it took a while.
Yeah, and it's getting worse again already. So the total contract was for $27,750.
Okay.
They after all of the recycle has been turned in and gotten back to the contractor, the total that will need to be paid for this is $21,362.30.
Again, please.
$21,362.30 for the cleanup at Nathan Harriman's, 1658 Old Highway 34.
Okay. Good job on that, Darren.
Well, not really. It's not going well right now because it's just.
Darren, how much did we have budgeted for that or anticipated?
We had anticipated $27,750 is what we budgeted.
The bid.
Yeah.
That was what the bid was, but we had the money to cover what wasn't for when we took waste back. So.
All right, Scott, what do you have for us?
Some weekly accomplishments, blading of dirt and gravel roads on Jefferson Henry Avenue or County Line. They finished the double tanker car bridge replacement. Worked on some fencing and channelizing, getting the channel to tie in real well with the bridge. Then they did brush cutting with the boom mower in various districts. Culvert replacement on Elderberry Road. We're doing mowing on shoulders. And be another month before we can mow whatever we want in the ditch. Then pothole patching with cold mix, and then with the total patcher as well. And some rock hauling. This week they're going to start with the contract rock. So Wednesday or so.
Okay.
So we're still making arrangements on which quarry to start with, and they've given us maps and things like that from each of the quarries. So that'll be underway. on projects 69 and 74, which are two bridge projects. We gave them copies of the checks that things were paid for. There were a couple of small items on project 69 that pay vouchers were sent in to the DOT on. So find subcontractor payments and DDE accomplishments are to be worked on this week. So on the Bundle Bridge project on 257th Street, some minor things happened with the contractor. I mean, they sent us welding certifications. Because that job hasn't started. We don't have a pre-construction meeting. We're supposed to be held closer to the time we're going to start. So on that project as well, we did some relocations of power lines. So ITC had the big power lines. They moved those in the poles, and then the local electric company moved their lines to the big poles. But there was one pole left in place. The ITC had to leave their pole poles till the stuff got moved, and the local power company's not going to move the poles. So when I was out looking, I saw that there's still a pole out there, and we notified the contractor that the local lines are moved now, and I sent information to the ITC about the remaining pole. So they said they were going to come out and remove it. That way we don't have to do a change order. So we also did they started doing concrete patching on Libertyville. There was a road notification sent out on that. And they're working away on it still. I think the road notification was extended a few days.
Yep.
So,
And there were some delays out there Friday a couple of different times. The bigger patches, they get 2 or 3 trucks coming, and so we close everything down and then walk through and tell everybody, it's going to be a little while before we get moving and all of that. So I know that there was probably some delays for other people. There was when I was out there at that particular time. So
yeah, I was out. One of the times I was out, they were delayed because of utilities. And then one other time I was out, they had come in early and they were leaving early because it was getting too hot to saw. We've had one of our personnel out there all the time monitoring the work.
Yeah.
And if not a couple at various times, 2 or 3.
They're still on track to be finished.
is that
So that's the extension. I guess I didn't get the extension road notification, but however long that notice is what we're expecting to be done. So I would think that'd be.
I had called that mix. I contacted Billy, and he said it would happen. They were going to do some more blading on it, and it'll probably happen in another week or 2.
Okay.
It's on the radar, but apparently it's, especially by the underpass, it gets pretty dusty, which it normally does.
Yeah.
So they've done a lot of good work on it. Anything else?
No.
Did the secondary roads department get in on cleaning up a bunch of garbage that was dumped out on 205th? It must not have.
Well,
I took a
if it did-
picture.
if it did, I didn't hear about it.
It was just west of Beckwith, and it was awful. And I actually was on Jerry Nelson's chest of drawers, everything. The sheriff's deputy was going through it.
Holy cow. Maybe they'll find some identification.
They
to,
found some addresses, and I don't know, this was Friday, so I'm gonna find out if they figured out who it is, but it's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful.
It sure looks
It's a good picture.
Did they find out? No, it's just, it's awful when people do that.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And it was in the field, you know, a lot of times, I mean, it's bad enough when they dump it in a ditch, but when you dump it
Right on
in
the
the
edge of
field on
field.
freshly planted crops, that's really bad.
Was any of it on the road then?
It wasn't on the road, but it was right inside the field, and then part of it was, you know, scattered. And then the next day it got windy. We got that wind, what was it, Saturday? And it blew.
So
Okay,
that'd be trespassing.
discuss and consider Hopper Close, Hauger, that's right.
Hauger Hills Minor
Hills, Minor
Subdivision.
Sub- Come on down,
Yeah.
Hauger Hills, I'm sorry. I had heard that. I was just looking.
Yeah, we didn't have anything in our packet.
You know,
With
we got
Scott
extra
should bring
copies.
those.
Well, yeah,
Fine.
yeah. It's exciting. Two lots subdivision. You got one.
I'll take some.
I got, they gave me some.
Yeah.
One more time? Sure. Abby, all right. We got one for it.
There we go.
Yeah, you know, Westfield subdivision out there. That was Bob Hauger's original development 25 some years ago. And then they did sort of a phase 2 of that and added another few lots. And then they did another similar one, Freedom Road subdivision north of that. Basically, he just bought a lot of land maybe 30 years ago. And has been slowly dividing that and selling the houses and lots rather, and all these nice houses are out there. So they were down to this one tract of land that had been using all the roads and was essentially part of the subdivision. They just said, well, you know, let's divide this into 2 final little lots here. Not that little, they're good size. And it technically is a minor subdivision, so we just need to have you guys see if everything looks good. Scott likes it, the city seems to be okay. We were waive their jurisdiction. They said, it looks like it complies with ours, so we don't want to exercise jurisdiction. That's how they do it. So, the roads are good. The auditor said the name is good. There's access.
Does it have an 911 address or what?
You know, I think they do, but I don't know what it is because
That's
the Haugers have
something-
been living there, so I'm assuming they do.
Yeah, they probably do, but you might want to just double check on it because being new on the 911 board, that's quite a challenge sometimes to make sure those are up to date.
That's a good point.
Brett Farrell, contact him.
Okay, that's,
Yeah,
thank you.
so on the checklist,
I'll take it.
on the checklist, it's, does say comply with uniform rural address system on all lots. House number, signs installed, so.
So you're okay.
And Brett is online with us here today. So
So this is an item that
Brent.
to be done. Based, I mean, they're not gonna ask for it till we get approval of the subdivision.
Thanks. All right. So any questions, discussion? You have a motion on this?
I would move that we would accept Hauger Hills Minor Subdivision.
Okay, motion by Hamlin and seconded by Dresch. Yes, discussion.
Should be something like, your approval will be subject to the city's approval or waiver.
Well, didn't you already tell us you took this to the?
Say they have, we're on their schedule. It's
They're-
first hearing next.
They're gonna look at it on July 6th. And, the county can approve it subject to their approval. I
Yeah.
mean,
All right, I would amend my motion to make this subject to approval by the city.
All right, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, change date and time for county budget amendment public hearing. It occurred to me the 21st, I'll be online, but I won't physically be here. And the 28th, I know it's gone. So that would take us to July 5th or 12th. And I didn't know if you had a preference on that. Or 6th, I'm sorry.
Well-
Is it be a holiday? Unless you want to do it next week.
I'm gonna try really hard to be back here on the 28th.
Okay,
I'm checking out at Salt Lake on the morning of the 27th, Sunday.
well, you'll be fine.
And then I should drive back all day and be back here, but so
We can save
I
it
know
till
we
the
haven't,
end.
yeah, I know we haven't planned on having a meeting on the 28th,
We can. I'll be here.
but, all right.
All right, so what time do you want it on the 28th? Do you want it a little later in case you're running late?
Yeah, why don't we do a meeting at 9 o'clock on the 28th?
Start at 9?
Yeah, start at 9.
Okay. 28th will start at 9, and then, what time do you want the budget hearing?
Why don't we just do it right at 9 o'clock?
Okay,
And then get that out of the way first, and then any business that we do have, which probably isn't gonna be a lot, we can take care of.
okay.
Well, we had planned on no meeting.
I guess we'll wait and see if we have an agenda for the 21st. I don't have
Yeah.
a preference. I'll be on Zoom either
Yeah.
way. But depends what we
Okay.
have. So, does that make sense? Okay, so we need a motion on the 20, I'll make a motion, we have it on the 28th at 9 o'clock.
I'll second that.
Okay, discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Consider fiscal year 2022 employee salaries. And do you want to read those, Darren? We want to read the whole thing, we've got the resolution. Typically, some years we've gone through them, while some years we haven't.
Yeah, I don't know as
I
to
don't
whether
know if we
we
need to read it.
technically need to read all of these, do we, as long as they're available and published?
They need to be a public document.
They're a public document, if anybody wants a copy of them.
And tomorrow, when I grab them from the auditor's office, they'll be able to.
Yeah.
Yes, they're
You
available.
can get them
with the
from the
auditor's office.
auditor's office, so,
Be published in the paper. in a couple
yeah,
weeks or so.
it will be published. Then.
The only question I had about the list was, is that we have Ray Chambers listed twice.
Part would be general, probably.
Well, one is the General Assistance Director and the other one is the Affairs Executive Director, both of which are $23.25 an hour. But it appears when you look at the list, he's making $46.50 an hour. So I guess there is a split that's created that does that, but I guess I hadn't noticed it in years past, being listed as two separate lines here in the list. Yeah, that's
Yeah, no, that's per,
just different titles. Okay.
because part of
But
this,
his pay is only $23.25 an hour.
Yeah.
Probably since we wouldn't be able to do both jobs simultaneously.
yeah.
Correct. That's what I'm looking at. Both of them come out of two different budgets.
Do we have a motion to approve this? And again, it's available in the auditor's office, should anybody want a copy.
Are we doing both the county road employee one and the employees resolution? I would make a motion that we approve both resolutions showing the county employees as listed and the secondary road employees as listed.
Motion by Hamilton, second by Gillespie. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, discuss the ERP process. I don't have anything really new on that. I know there is a webinar coming up. Websites with Rob Sand. I encourage everyone to do that. And I guess, do we have any update, Abby? Have we gotten our numbers yet? The guns are yes on.
I don't think that we have them yet. But, you know, they were just applied for last week. And it takes a little bit, up to a month,
Okay.
but not, probably not a month.
And I was wondering sometime, what's the court calendar look like? We could have a department head meeting maybe the end of the month, but Friday's the only open day, and that's gonna be, we can do it here. We did something, yeah, I figured July 2nd is probably not a good time to have it meeting, because going into the 4th of July.
Right.
Will it be around probably the 9th? Isn't Friday the only day they don't have court?
They don't have court 3 weeks every month.
Oh, okay.
And they're keeping up with that's online right now.
How about if we did one on June 30th? Would there be court that day? Probably not, it's a 5th Wednesday.
Yeah, no, there should be court. There's court all week long. So that
Okay, we'll check that out and see. Just to talk
The only
about,
other thing is we have to watch out. They're going to do some work in the courtroom. They're putting up stuff. And they should be doing it this week, but yeah, I've got that coordinated with Dave and that'll be going on.
and that's
Yeah, at most.
work that's been in process several months.
Yeah.
Committee reports?
Yep.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jonesy.
I had seal mental health, and with the new law, nobody really knows for sure. You know, this mental health law has changed every year since I've been on it. First 1 year, they say your fund balance is too low. Then they say you need to make it higher. Well, now, based on the most recent,
Has been deployed, and there's a baby in one of the vehicles again. And so there's a Fairfield veterinary clinic in Walmart. Possible.
I'm sorry, someone's got a microphone on that I'm hearing stuff.
so the latest with this latest law, they updated it, and they want to get the fund balance now down to 5%, which is barely enough. Well, it won't be enough to carry the first 3 months of salary and payments. So that's going to be a challenge. And then the other part, not this next year, but in, I think it was fiscal year 23 into 23, we don't know for sure on Fund 10 is going to go away. And so we don't know what that means. There's 3 options, and honestly, it's way too early to talk about it. Part of it is that the county employees could become region employees. They could still be county employees, but it would take having the region send money to the county for that. I mean, it's all up in the air, and it's really too cumbersome to even wrap your head around. So what they plan to do is hopefully work with the legislature this next year and get that figured out, because that's really a challenge in that law with having county employees do the region work. So they're going to be working through that.
All right.
Anything from your side?
Yeah, I went to the Rust Board meeting the other day. Things are moving along pretty good for them. We've got some changes coming up that are kind of minor. So there wasn't really anything significant that was talked about at the meeting. So that's where we stand there.
Okay. Any public comments? Okay. Motion to allow claims.
Second.
Motion by Drish, second by Hamilton. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any new nuisance properties we need to be doing?
Nope, there isn't any to discuss right at this point in time.
All right.
We're still moving through the process on some.
Okay, Wednesday night, we'll have a joint meeting with the city council at City Hall to discuss dispatch and the 2080 agreement concerning loss center operations. So, all
Okay,
right,
I
we'll
would
be,
make a motion to adjourn.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Dee, I have a question.
Yes.